really good holiday. Looking at the University of Georgia, classic SEC football team, a huge offensive line, really coach well. They're big, do a good job with their running scheme. A stable of backs. You know, there's been a couple of times through the years that the second guy, Georgia, got drafted pretty high. So, you know, they've always had really fine running backs, strong blocking full backs to facilitate the inside running game. The wide receiver, A.J. Green, classic wide receiver, probably 1-2 in the country there early, got hurt. Probably expect him to be back. It's been a good little time since injury, so we probably expect him to play. They do a really good job with their offensive system. They're not very complicated. Someone told me a long time ago, the easier are they break down, the harder they are to beat, because they know what they're doing and they just stick with their base offense. So they're really strong offensive football team. We're excited about being in the bowl game. The best thing about a bowl experience, especially for our young team, is what's happening to us right now. We've had really good work, a couple of days that we worked, and looking forward to going down to Shreveport, continuing to work. That way the young guys just continue to get better. And so we're very excited about going there. That's really good people in Shreveport. Those of you who've been there before, their bowl committee does a great job. The community gets in there behind it, and so it'll be a good experience. And we're looking forward to going down and being part of that.
Joe, in all the years that you've been to bowl games, there's a psychology with the teams. I mean, some teams are excited about being there, some teams aren't excited about being there. How do you prepare teams, and you have a long time between the end of the season? You know,
I think Coach Sherman's got an excellent plan in place for this group of young men. When you're young, I think with a young team, the excitement of going to their first bowl, or a lot of freshmen, sophomores involved in it, the excitement level has been good. You know, Coach told them right from the get-go, we're going to work, and then we're going to enjoy the bowl. So I think you keep the two separate, you know, and they've been able to do that. Once you go out on the practice field, it's time to practice, and then when you're involved in the other activities, it's time to relax and enjoy that. So as long as you keep those two separate, and this group has done a good job doing that, and Coach has kind of laid it out for them right down the road, and so knowing what to expect is part of how you handle things. So Coach Sherman's done a good job of laying that out, and you know, it's we're half the folks in the country are home, they're through. You know, the fact that we're not through, we're still working, we can still get better. All of that, it has a rippling effect. It affects, you know, it affects spring practice, the off-season program. You know, instead of this time last year, the guys were already finishing exams and gone home. And so it's hard to get them better when they're home. And so we're here and working, and that's the good part of it.
Cox reminded you of any quarterback that A&M's played this year. Who would you compare him to? What does he do best?
You know, it's hard to compare guys team to team. He's a classic SEC quarterback. Does a really good job moving the offense. Probably has one of the best deep ball feel for the deep ball of anybody we play. You know, there's several shots where, you know, he and Green connect down the field. They do a good job with a play action pass. Really excellent job with the play action pass. And when you run the ball as well as they do, then obviously the play action pass becomes a really big part of your offense and a big weapon for you. So you got two choices. You can stack up the box and stop the run, or you can stay back and play the pass. And either one you choose, you know, if you don't do it well, you're in a mess. So he does a real good job running the offense. Mike Bobo is you know, just he was a quarterback when we were there. Does an excellent job. His father, he's a football person. He grew up in a football family. Father, excellent guy there, and Mike played the position. Just a super young mind. it's going to be, he's got a great future ahead of him. Mark, been a quarterback coach forever, so they understand what they do and they understand how to move the ball, and it's a day's work to get ready for them.
You got any special memories of your days in Athens?
God's been good to me. I've been blessed to be at a lot of good places, and Athens is a classic little college town. It is literally set there, just a college community. There's some resemblance there to A&M in it. There's not, there's no heavy industry all that around. It's just a little college town, and they really get in behind the school, and it's it's a good atmosphere there.
Have the workouts been more focused on you or Georgia?
You know what? Again, Coach has got a really great plan. I think early, he's kind of asked us to focus on us, get us better, and then integrate the game plan as you go. If you don't improve the things that you're, the weakest on right now, it doesn't matter what you do game plan. So it's an excellent time to work on fundamentals, get yourself in a situation where you can improve your football team. So you try to do a little both.
And then what's your focus then defensively? I mean, what areas have you focused on?
The things that we getting off blocks and tackling. I guess a option team. There's a lot of guys that are unblocked, and then they have to make the play off the read. Against a power football team, you got to whip somebody and get off the block before you can do anything. So that's been the thing we've concentrated on the most, and then the play action pass in games. So you train your eyes to look at the right things there.
You talk a little bit more about A.J. Green. Is he similar to anybody else?
A lot of in our conference, the people that probably would remind you of it would be Dez at Oklahoma State. That caliber of guy. He's got all the tools that a wide receiver needs. Got the height, got the speed, got the hands. Really good speed. He and the little youngster from over at Alabama, they were probably 1 and 2 in the country. Again, in a lot of people's mind, recruiting-wise, coming out. So he's a classic wide receiver. 6'4", about 207 pounds, and can really get down the field quick.
Would you talk about the running game, Joe? They've been very effective, especially that last game against Georgia Tech.
Against Tech, they just lined the ball up and ran it. They weren't really interested in a lot of stats, and what they just, if you don't stop the run, we're not going to quit running it. So and that's the approach that Mark's taken, most of his career. If they're on track and running it, they just keep right on running. So they lined up and ran the ball at Tech, and Tech had a couple of defensive linemen that had been injured, weren't there, so they were playing a little short-handed, and Georgia was able to control the ball on them there. So it's that was probably the simplest game plan that they had all year. They were just going to run the ball until they stopped it, and then did a good job with the screen and play action pass off of it. So they had a good plan against Georgia Tech.
Are you thinking they might try to do that?
Well, they've tried to do it all year long to most everybody. Sometimes it's out of 2 backs, sometimes it's out of 1 back, but they're going to run the ball first and throw a second.
With you returning to the Independence Bowl, how often do people bring up you being kind of a YouTube sensation, the little inside trap?
I was very excited going off the field that day. I was trying to get in there and get that trap stopped, so I just got in a hurry. I didn't realize I had to do that, so the guy kind of caught me a little bit by surprise, and I had a thought in my head, we need to get this thing slowed down or it's going to be a long half, So it was one of those moments that I didn't really realize at the time it was going to be what it turned out to be, and so I don't know. I just hope I didn't embarrass, myself and my family too much. I mean, it was kind of funny, I guess, to some folks, and it's okay, but I was just in a hurry, and I can talk pretty fast anyway. So,
and I know you've said you don't even buy green bananas, but could you discuss your future? Do you expect to be?
I really the most important thing in my future is getting this practice done today, and I just that's the way I think every football coach that's in this thing for real. It's one game at a time, one practice at a time. If you get way too far ahead, you cheat the youngsters you're working with. So You know, I try not to think about all that stuff. I'm just going, we don't stop this off-tackle power. It ain't gonna matter anyway. So that's kind of what we do. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.